I'm not exactly a nightclub person. Usually I spend my time inside my house wondering why people want to go into a giant pit of people that can barely tell they even exist. Doubly so when it's an MMO of all places. Seriously, Final Fantasy XIV, why does your nightclub scene exist? Anyway, focusing on Payday, this is the next heist in my series of videos going over what's a change in each of them, continuing on with the Neon Cradle nightclub. Or as the game likes to call it, Rock the Cradle.
At least I made it!
Rock the Cradle is the only heist within Payday 3 where I can say they made a heist that was clearly meant to be played in stealth and then felt contractually obligated to make something in loud. Why do I say that? Let me go over how you complete this heist in stealth and then in loud so you can understand what I'm getting at. In stealth, you're using the social stealth mechanics as much as you can, which I'd even go so far as to say their use is encouraged by the game itself. After all, you're able to effectively disappear into a crowd of people who are probably too drugged out of their minds to care about you being there to steal everything from right underneath them. The main loot you're after is a crypto wallet that's hidden in the staff area within the underground VIP section, which in and of itself is blocked by the main club area as well as the bouncers in front of the door. To get to the VIP section, you have two options, one which requires masking up while the other doesn't. You can mess with the speakers upstairs, getting the bouncer to check out what's going on, where you can swipe his keycard and slip in unnoticed, which requires masking up, meaning you can't manipulate the social stealth mechanics. However, if you want to keep using the social stealth mechanics, you can sneak into Rifkin's office, and after hacking your phone, you can steal blank VIP invitations to trick the bouncer with after running them through a verifier so they're actually active. If you do it this way in Overkill difficulty, where the nightclub is a private area by default, the main area and the basement are now unrestricted, aside from the secure areas. I've only talked about the upstairs half in stealth so far, and the only loot you can get there are 5 total paintings in these private rooms, one of which is, stupidly, locked behind a QR scanner with the blank VIP invites. This is mostly a suggestion for the loot rather than the mechanics, since having loot blocked behind a QR code that effectively disappears in loud is not exactly fun, so basically just move the painting outside of the cage that the blank VIP invites are in, and suddenly the whole issue is solved. Or just make the unlock method in loud something to do with the computer itself, or the red and blue keycard that are already used plentifully in this heist anyway. Also, getting the QR code can be quite annoying because Rifkin, that's club owner by the way, wanders around as the only source of the QR code to unlock the cabinet. So my proposition for this is rather simple. We've already used a phone in Dirty Ice to get the manager to her office there. Why can't we do the same thing here with Rifkin? Just use it to get her to go to her office, maybe something to get her to just set down her phone on the table when she enters her office. It doesn't even need to be that complicated, it's just a way to safely get her into the office without needing to wait an age for her to enter it naturally. Hitman has something similar to this where you can call your targets to a specific room so they're all gathered in one place, and it works well enough there. That's the second time I've referenced Hitman in these videos. Anyway, back to progressing in stealth. When you enter the VIP area, you're heading pretty deep underground to what appears to be an either abandoned or decommissioned NYC subway station, with the club building around and on top of it for their guests, including conspicuously large air vents that you can easily stand on and run around on top of to stay undetected if you went mask up to get in here. If you didn't mask up though, you essentially have free reign down here, where once again, you're presented with 2 options to open the vault and grab the crypto wallet, though one of these doesn't require masking up, only encouraging it due to a vent shortcut you can't reach otherwise. You can either find a manager downstairs who has access to the wallet and tail him into the room with the crypto wallet in it after calling him and making him go there first, yoinking the crypto wallet right from underneath him, or you can look at this whiteboard next to the crypto wallet's storage hatch to see a combination of a power box number and a switch color to reset the power, which is far less time sensitive than tailing the manager into the room, but requires a bit more running back and forth. Regardless of which method you decide to use, once you get the wallet, you're pretty much in the clear. Your main loot focus is grabbed, and once you chuck it over the barricade, you're then free to either rummage around the rest of the nightclub checking for more loot, or simply just get up and leave. Now, evident by the fact that I've spent far longer on a summary of how stealth goes in this heist than I spent on it in any previous video, that should go to show how thought out this heist is, at least as far as the stealth side is concerned. What about loud? Unfortunately, it gets nowhere near similar treatment. When you go loud, the crypto wallet is pretty much immediately wiped because internet or something. I don't think that's how it should work, because they would wipe it once they realize it's gone anyway. But that's how it works, which already takes one of your potential bags away, not counting the painting Rifkin's office I mentioned earlier, which would make 2 bags out of your total that are gone. But, you know, your cover's blown now, you gotta work with what you got, so you take parts from a loot cage from the van in front of the club that both never leaves and makes you trigger an assault automatically by leaving the front door of the nightclub, I should add, to make a cage on what was the main dance floor. Then you quite literally just rummage around for whatever you can grab, which is mostly bags of cash and cocaine that aren't nearly as valuable as the crypto wallet. Once you've gotten enough loot to escape, you ride the lift out of the club, and that's it. One paragraph. One singular paragraph to describe how Loud works compared to the miniature essay I wrote for Stealth should spell out the major problem with this heist's focus. So, let's start from the top in terms of what needs to change because, oh boy, I've got quite a lot. So besides the singular painting that really shouldn't be in a cage in the first place, removing the crypto wallet on top of that means it's quite literally impossible to get all of the loot in this heist in Loud. The painting has a simple solution of just moving it, but the crypto wallet is a bit more complicated, and really, I think should actually just be the main objective of Loud as well. The remote wiping is stupid and completely kills any potential focus point this heist could have, so let's give the heist some objectives to unlock the crypto wallet when you go guns blazing. Starting off, the loot cage is a bit of an annoyance, mostly because it doesn't function like the Diamond District equivalent of counting as looted when it enters, at least not totally. Your loot bags entering the cage fill a meter before they can count as looted, because Bile needs to make his way over or something. I never really understood this part. Anyway, the cage part can stay, but the way you get it needs to change, because that van sucks. You need to shoot at the skylight anyway, so why not lead with that so Bile can drop off the cage parts instead of them being in the van that, again, forces you to start the assault wave as soon as you leave the nightclub. On top of being inconsistent with Twitch, why has he not driven away once the cops show up? Now, on to the more significant changes that really would breathe some much-needed life into doing this heist Loud, because, oh, it really needs it. With the changed focus to be on the crypto wallet, the main question that would need to be asked is how does the Payday gang manage to get it off the drive and into their accounts? Well, the simple solution is actually already shown in one of the other heists later on in the game, Touch the Sky. In that heist, you have an SSD to decrypt before you can loot it, meaning you have to use the main computer in that heist to do so. We could easily do this with Rifkin's computer and rock the Cradle to make the focus back on the crypto wallet in this heist. You could take it upstairs to decrypt it, as an item instead of a bag, of course, and then have Shade remotely decrypt the drive so it's actually valuable to you. This could easily be a back-and-forth process where you're spending the time it takes to decrypt to grab all the other loot scattered around the nightclub, especially since there's a vault downstairs with a not unsubstantial amount of money in it. So the focus then becomes the crypto wallet, which is not too difficult to do since presumably the code is already in the game, but then the next issue shows itself in asking how you escape if not through the loot cage. Well, I have two options here. One, which can very easily be implemented into the game, while the other one would be really cool to see, but would certainly take a lot more effort and probably is not something that we could see very soon, but would be really cool to have regardless. The first and easier escape alternative would just be having Bile fly his chopper over to the docks in front of the nightclub, picking up you and your loot in one fell swoop, where the biggest hurdle would be the lack of cover the dock provides, similar to Dirty Ice before it. And it would also make it so that you actually have to deal with snipers on this map, because otherwise, they don't exist. The other escape I had in mind makes use of the fact that the VIP section is placed inside a subway tunnel with 2 train cars as support structures to boot. Why don't we use one of these to escape? The subway rails are still there, just hook up something like the remote steering device or simply hack into the train car and use it to haul all of your loot away and ride off into the sunset. Besides, there hasn't been a train getaway in Payday yet, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Maybe make one of the issues you run into trying to set up the train, besides using explosives to get rid of the barricade in the way obviously, is having to set up a course for the train to go on so you can actually escape successfully. Or better yet, make this a favor. It's better than the literal lie that is the crypto wallet wipe delay one that does literally nothing because the crypto wallet is wiped as soon as you go loud. Other than that, I think the only thing this heist would really need is some kind of a map or a report showing how many things were officially bought and sold within the club itself, so you'd be going through the club's records to make sure you found every piece of loot in there. Like the computer says there's this many bags of cocaine hidden, or something along those lines. Rock the Cradle is a heist I have mixed feelings about. On one hand, the stealth is honestly some of the best in the game, whether you want to maneuver around with your mask up feeling like a seasoned thief, or just hide in plain sight. But as soon as things go loud, just like the instant wiping of the crypto wallet, I feel drained and don't care to keep going with this heist aside from only wanting to see it through to the end. That's why I made this video, because I want to enjoy playing this loud just as much as I enjoy it in stealth. Overall, almost all of the changes are exclusively for loud gameplay, since as I've hopefully made abundantly clear by now, that's where the least amount of love was put into this heist. So really, I just want to tip the scales back into a sense of balance, which, for this being the 4th heist of 8 total at Payday 3's launch, is fittingly ironic. Next on the list of the original launch heists is this game's art museum, and the half of Payday 3 heists most players feel dread or apathy for when they hear their names. Until then, I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you take care. Oh, and because I didn't say it in the Dirty Geist video, Happy New Year.